You're about to spend somewhere between $40 and $400 on coding tools for your child, and the biggest mistake parents make isn't choosing the wrong product, it's choosing the wrong purchasing model. My name is Dr. Priya Mehta, and today we're cutting through the marketing to figure out whether subscription boxes or one-time purchase kits actually match how your kid learns. You're listening to the STEM Lab podcast. Quick heads up, everything you're about to hear, the research, the data, the script, that's all human verified and written by real authors. But the voice you're hearing is AI generated. Just wanted to be upfront about that. If you've been listening for a while, thanks for coming back. It genuinely matters. And if this is your first episode, welcome aboard. We drop new episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, covering STEM learning aids and toys that actually deliver results. Today, we're breaking down subscription boxes versus one-time purchase kits. So let's get into it. So here's the sharp truth right up front. Subscription boxes give you continuous progression, but they lock you into ongoing payments. One-time purchase kits hand you immediate ownership and unlimited reuse at a much lower long-term cost. Your decision really comes down to whether your child needs someone else to map out their learning journey step by step, or whether they're better off exploring coding concepts independently at whatever pace feels right to them. We're going to compare both approaches across cost structure, learning progression, expandability, and which developmental stages each one actually fits. By the end, you'll know which model supports your family's goals without burning money or losing momentum. Let me give you the snapshot version first. When you look at total cost over 12 months, subscription boxes run you anywhere from $180 to $480, depending on how often boxes arrive and which company you choose. One-time purchase kits cost between $40 and $180 upfront, and then you're done. No recurring fees. For skill progression, subscriptions give you curated sequential challenges with guided scaffolding built in. One-time kits offer self-directed exploration, where you or your child controls the pacing. Physical ownership is another big difference. Subscription materials are often consumable or designed like rentals. You don't build up much of a long-term library. One-time kits? You own them permanently. Unlimited reuse, hand-me-down value for siblings, the whole deal. Expandability matters too. Subscription boxes typically run in closed ecosystems with limited cross-compatibility between months or with other products. One-time kits use open-ended components that integrate with other kits and future learning paths. And here's the developmental piece. Subscriptions work best for children who thrive on novelty, external structure, and hitting regular milestones. One-time kits suit independent learners who revisit concepts and care more about mastery than constant newness. Now let's talk about cost structure and what you're actually getting for your money. The whole coding subscription box versus one-time kit debate starts with price tags, sure, but the real question is value per developmental outcome. How much learning are you buying per dollar spent? Subscription boxes typically run $15 to $40 per month. That range depends on whether you pick weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly delivery. Over a full year, you're investing anywhere from $180 to nearly $500. What does that buy you? Curated progression. Someone else maps the learning path, matches activities to developmental stages, and introduces new concepts at regular intervals. You're paying for convenience and expertise, no question about it. But here's the challenge. Once you stop paying, the learning materials stop arriving. A lot of subscription models use consumable components, cardboard sequencing cards, single-use sticker-based challenges, proprietary game boards that don't integrate with anything else you own. Your child can't revisit their favorite activities a year later without digging through old boxes. And even then, some of those materials are designed to be used once and that's it.
One-time purchase kits range from about $40 for basic sequencing puzzles up to $180 for comprehensive robotic systems with multiple expansion sets available. You pay once, your child can use those materials daily, weekly, sporadically, whatever works, over multiple years. Siblings inherit them. When your child eventually outgrows them, you can sell them secondhand and recoup 30 to 50% of what you originally spent. The cost per use calculation really matters here. If your child engages with a $120 one-time kit for 18 months, revisiting challenges, teaching younger siblings, integrating pieces into imaginative play, you're looking at pennies per session. A subscription delivering 12 boxes at $25 each costs $300 total, and once the boxes stop coming, engagement often stops too, unless your child independently creates new challenges with the old materials. I'm not saying subscription boxes lack value. For families who struggle to design progressive learning paths or who need the motivation boost of regular deliveries, that structure is absolutely worth the premium. But you need to recognize what you're actually buying: scaffolding and momentum, not long-term reusable assets. Let's shift to learning progression and skill scaffolding. Subscription services really excel at guided progression. Each box arrives with age-calibrated challenges that introduce one or two new computational thinking concepts: sequencing, debugging, conditional logic, loops, functions. You don't need to research what comes next. The curriculum designers have already mapped it out. For parents who feel uncertain about how to teach computational thinking through hands-on tools, this removes a ton of friction.
But here's the developmental catch. External pacing doesn't always match internal readiness. Your child might need 3 full weeks to truly internalize conditionals, but the next box shows up in 2, or they master loops in 4 days and then sit there restlessly waiting for the next challenge. Subscriptions impose a rhythm, which helps some children and frustrates others. One-time kits offer flexible pacing. Your child can spend a month on basic sequencing, return to it after a break, or accelerate through concepts in a weekend if they're ready. That's developmentally valuable. Repetition and self-directed challenge adjustment build metacognitive skills, awareness of your own learning pace and strategy preferences. Here's where it gets nuanced. If your child is between ages 4 and 6 and still building executive function skills, task initiation, sustained attention, working memory, they may genuinely benefit from the external structure of subscription boxes. The novelty of a new box arrival creates motivation. The preset challenges reduce decision fatigue. For children 7 and older who demonstrate independent project initiation, one-time kits better support autonomy and progressive learning paths. Neither model is developmentally superior across the board. They fit different temperaments and developmental stages. You know your child. Do they thrive on routine and anticipation, or do they resist being told what to do next? Now let's talk about expandability and integration with future learning. One-time purchase kits generally offer superior expandability and integration with industry-standard learning paths. Many use modular components that children can later combine with Arduino-compatible robotics kits. The sequencing logic learned through physical tiles translates directly to block-based programming in Scratch and eventually text-based Python. Subscription boxes often use proprietary components: custom game boards, branded sequencing cards, activity books designed exclusively for that month's challenge. These materials don't integrate with other systems. Your child can't extend a subscription box project with Lego Technic gears or connect it to a robotics kit they already own. The learning concepts transfer, sure, but the physical materials become siloed. From a home STEM lab perspective, one-time kits contribute to reusable infrastructure. Wooden coding blocks, modular robots, open-ended sequencing boards, these become permanent lab equipment. Children combine them across projects, integrate them with other STEM activities, use them as teaching tools when explaining concepts to peers or younger siblings. Subscription boxes, by contrast, create clutter without compounding value. After 12 months, you've got 12 sets of materials that don't talk to each other. Some families keep everything, which overwhelms storage. Others purge periodically, which wastes the initial investment. A few subscription services now offer keeper components and return components, but that model is still pretty rare. If you're building toward Arduino programming, robotics competitions, or other advanced STEM capabilities, one-time kits offer clearer on-ramps. Subscription boxes work better as supplemental enrichment rather than foundational infrastructure. Let's get into some practical specs: durability, storage, physical requirements. Durability varies dramatically within both categories, but one-time kits are generally engineered for repeated use. High-quality, screen-free coding robots use impact-resistant ABS plastic, replaceable batteries, usually 3 AAA cells, giving you about 20 to 30 hours of active use per set, and robust mechanical components designed to handle 200-plus coding sequences without degradation. Wooden tile-based systems resist wear better than cardboard alternatives. Subscription boxes often prioritize cost efficiency over longevity. Materials need to survive 1 month of use, not 3 years. Cardboard game boards warp, sticker-based challenges lose adhesion, paper instruction booklets tear. Some premium subscription services, typically $35 and up per month, use higher quality materials, but most budget tier options in the $15 to $25 monthly range show wear pretty quickly. Storage footprint matters too. One-time kits designed for long-term use often include compact storage solutions, boxes with compartments, stackable trays, and labeled baggies. Subscription boxes accumulate. Unless you're rigorous about consolidating materials every month, you'll end up with a closet full of individual boxes, each containing partial sets of components. Power requirements are straightforward for screen-free kits. Most run on AA or AAA batteries. Budget maybe $10 to $15 annually for high-use scenarios. Some premium robotics kits include rechargeable battery packs with USB-C charging, standard 5-volt 1-amp setup. Subscription boxes typically use similar power specs, but may introduce compatibility issues if different months use different battery types. Offline functionality is universal across screen-free options. No Wi-Fi, no app dependencies, no account creation. However, some subscription services now include companion apps for parent tracking or optional digital extensions. Verify whether these apps are truly optional or whether they gate core learning content. True screen-free learning should function completely without digital devices. So, who should actually choose subscription boxes? Go for a coding subscription box if your child responds strongly to novelty and anticipation. Children who lose interest in toys within weeks but re-engage when something new arrives benefit from that built-in refresh cycle. The regular delivery creates event-driven motivation. You should also consider subscriptions if you lack confidence in designing learning progressions yourself. If terms like conditional logic or algorithmic thinking feel intimidating, a subscription provides expert-designed scaffolding. You facilitate the activities, but you don't need to sequence them. Subscription boxes also suit families who want minimal long-term storage commitment. If your home lacks space for a permanent STEM lab setup, the rotating nature of subscription materials keeps clutter manageable, assuming you're willing to discard or donate materials after completion. Finally, consider subscriptions if you're using screen-free coding as supplemental enrichment rather than core curriculum. They work beautifully as a monthly special activity alongside other learning methods, but they're less effective as the sole foundation for computational thinking development. Who should choose one-time purchase kits instead? One-time kits serve children who demonstrate deep focus and prefer mastery over variety. If your child returns to favorite activities repeatedly, inventing new challenges and variations, a reusable kit offers way more developmental value than monthly novelty.
You should prioritize one-time purchases if you're building a progressive learning path toward advanced STEM skills. If your goal is to prepare your child for Arduino programming, robotics competitions, or text-based coding languages, one-time kits with expandable ecosystems provide clearer bridges to those capabilities. One-time kits also make sense for multi-child households. Siblings can share materials and older children can mentor younger ones using the same physical components. The per-child cost advantage is substantial. And if you value environmental sustainability and dislike planned obsolescence, one-time purchases align better with those principles. High-quality kits last years and maintain resale value through platforms like local STEM equipment exchanges.
Let me tackle some questions that come up a lot. First, do subscription boxes teach the same computational thinking skills as one-time purchase kits? Yes, both subscription boxes and one-time purchase kits teach core computational thinking skills like sequencing, debugging, loops, conditionals, and functions. But they differ in pacing flexibility, depth of mastery opportunities, and integration with advanced learning paths. Subscription boxes excel at introducing diverse concepts through novel contexts. One-time kits support deeper mastery through repeated practice and self-directed challenge creation. For comprehensive skill development, consider starting with a one-time kit that offers progressive learning path compatibility, then use subscriptions as supplemental enrichment after your child demonstrates sustained interest. Another common question, can I transition from subscription boxes to one-time kits or vice versa without confusing my child? Yes, children adapt easily between subscription boxes and one-time kits because both teach the underlying computational thinking principles through tactile manipulation. The transition is a change in delivery format, not fundamental approach. If you start with subscriptions and later switch to one-time kits, frame it as graduating to tools they can use independently rather than waiting for new boxes. If you move from one-time kits to subscriptions, present the boxes as expert challenges that introduce new ideas using familiar concepts. The key is maintaining consistency in your facilitation style and developmental stage alignment rather than worrying about the delivery model itself. And here's a big one. Are screen-free coding subscription boxes worth the cost compared to screen-based coding apps? Screen-free coding subscriptions cost more per month than most apps, $15 to $40 versus $3 to $12, but they offer developmental advantages for children under age 7 by prioritizing tactile learning, eliminating screen exposure concerns, and building fine motor skills alongside computational thinking. For children 8 and older with established executive function skills, screen-based apps offer better value and more direct pathways to industry-standard programming languages. The optimal approach for many families is using screen-free tools for ages 4 through 7, then transitioning to Scratch and Python as screen time concerns diminish and abstract thinking capabilities mature. The bottom line, the coding subscription box versus one-time kit decision isn't about finding the objectively superior option. It's about matching the delivery model to your child's learning style, your family's budget constraints, and your long-term skill-building goals. Subscription boxes work best as novelty-driven enrichment for younger children, ages 4 to 7, who need external structure and benefit from expert curated progression. They reduce your planning burden, but create ongoing financial commitment and limited reusability. Design, but they become permanent lab infrastructure that supports mastery, sibling sharing, and bridges to advanced capabilities, like Arduino programming and robotics. For most families building serious STEM learning foundations, I recommend investing in 2 or 3 high-quality one-time kits that span ages 4 to 10, then supplementing with subscription boxes during periods when you need fresh motivation or want to explore niche concepts without committing to full kit purchases.
That hybrid approach balances novelty with sustainability, external structure with learner autonomy, and immediate engagement with long-term capability building. Your child deserves tools that grow with them, not materials designed for disposability.
That wraps up this episode of the STEM Lab podcast. Thanks for spending this time with me. New episodes come out every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, so there's always something fresh on the way. If this episode helped you out, leaving a 5-star rating and a review really does make a difference. It's how other parents find the show when they're searching for honest answers about STEM tools. And if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe or follow so you get notified the moment a new episode drops. I'll catch you on the next one.